Welcome to Partnerships for Profit, the podcast where we bring you inside the world of joint ventures, strategic partnerships, and powerful collaborations. Whether you're looking to expand your network, find new referral partners, or scale your business, you're in the right place. Let's get started.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Partnerships for Profit. I'm your host, Anna Del Rio, and this week we're joined by Renee C Bauer, founder of Happy Even After Family Law. And today she's going to break down how she built a powerful referral network through unreasonable hospitality, boots on the ground marketing, and aligned partnerships that multiply trust and exposure. Thank you so much for joining us today, Renee. How are you doing?
Thanks for having me, Anna. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm lovely. Thank you so much for asking. Now let's just jump right in. Go ahead and share, some details about you, your background, and, where you're coming from.
So I am a divorce lawyer. I have a divorce law firm that I started a long time ago, but I am also a creative more than before I went to law school, I was a writer. And when I started my own business, I loved to look at things from a different perspective. When I worked at a law firm, I'm like, well, how can we do things differently? Because I thought it was really lawyers are really boring. And I'll just say it here. It's a safe space.
It is a very safe space.
Right? Their offices are boring. They're everything about what, they're so buttoned up. And I'm like, there has to be a better way of doing things and having a little fun with it and being a little creative. So while I was doing the whole lawyering thing and building the business, I've always had my hand in the marketing piece of it and thinking about how to reimagine what we offer and how can we stand out just by being different than everyone else out there with the same initials after their name.
Right. So you built a brand around Happy Even After. So what moment made you realize that divorce could actually be the start of something better and not just the end of something,
Yeah. So it was my own demise. So I am twice divorced, and it was the thing that brought me really the most shame. And, the first divorce, fine. The second divorce, it's it's really bad. It's wow, what's wrong with me? And I went to work and was this buttoned up version of myself, very professional, but I didn't talk about my own divorces. And it was because I had shame around it. And one day I went on a podcast, probably about 6 years ago. And a good friend of mine was like, listen, I'm going to come over. I'm going to clip the mic on. I'm going to bring some sushi. It's going to be fine. I'm just going to ask you a few questions. So we did that. And she started asking me questions about my divorce. And for the first time ever, I was speaking publicly about it. And when her episode came out, I had other women reach out to me to say, thank you for sharing your story. I felt that way too. And then I realized I was doing a massive disservice to my clients by not talking about that and kind of being very filtered.
Right.
And at that point forward, I started to talk about not any acts, but started just to talk about what divorce felt like and some of the loneliness and all of those feelings. And that was sort of the start of a rebrand, because it was what do people actually want? They want to be happy. They want to be happy in their life, in their relationship. And even if there's a plot twist, even if it goes a different way than they expected, they still want to be happy on the other side of it. And of course, we all know Happy Ever After, and it was a kind of a play on that. And then from the branding marketing part of it, I'm like, let's take my name off of the business and let's call it something totally different. Let's call it what I think people are actually looking for. And that was the start of it. And when we renamed it, I had some old time lawyers make fun of it. And they're like, haha, what kind of name is that? And I'm like, well, I'm like, okay, but our phones are ringing off the hook. And when people call, they say, I was drawn to your company because of the name, and it stood out. So that's how it all started.
So you really found firsthand that authenticity is the way to go with this. And being a divorcee myself, I can see how you, in the position that you are, can empower us as individuals that have been through that space and be relatable and be, how that would attract us. I completely can see that.
Yeah. And I think for so much of my life, it was like that kind of that good girl syndrome. Like
Yeah.
you're not going to do it perfectly. You probably shouldn't do it at all. Right. Like I lived in that thought, and to the same aspect, it was, if I'm not presenting as a professional, then, I'm not credible. And
Right.
nothing further from the truth is people want to connect with other people more than anything else. And I think that's how people buy now, especially
Yes.
in the market where we're like inundated with everything. And so that authenticity, I think, is the differentiator between someone making that phone call or making that purchase and not.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that. So you talked about unreasonable hospitality. What's one unexpectedly human thing you did for a client or partner that changed your business's trajectory?
Yeah, and so that term does not come from myself. That comes from Will Gadara, I think is how you say his name, and he wrote this book called Unreasonable Hospitality. And he was a chef, and he created an experience for people who went into his restaurant. And so last year, our entire team read the book, and we said, what can we do for our clients that creates that same feeling, where it's not just giving them a branded cup with our logo on it, but doing something where they feel heard. And so one of my favorite stories is, I had a woman who was sitting in my office, and she told me at one of our meetings, she loved Game of Thrones. And she told me she wished she had a dragon so that she could just like breathe fire on her ex and where he's living. And she was doing it all in jest. And then the next time she came into my office, we had a Zoom meeting with, she was being deposed, and we had gotten her a model dragon and wrapped it up. And we had the wrapping paper was like the dragon wrapping paper.
So cute.
And it was something, and she opened it and she just cried because she felt heard and listened. It brought her joy. But it was something so small. It wasn't expensive. Like it was just something that is so unique to her, because she's the only client who we will ever probably buy a dragon for. But she felt so heard. And it's things like that, is that what the unreasonable hospitality is listening to your client say one thing, and then you execute on that, because it always brings up some level of emotion for them, because it's so meaningful to them. And so that's what it means, is creating. It's not about gifting, it's creating a feeling in our clients.
Oh, that is beautiful. I love that. It's so simple, just so simple. And it really did show that you were listening and you heard her. And I can understand why that would be so emotional. Oh, that's so sweet.
Yes.
So what does boots on the ground marketing actually look like?
So, all right. So, and this is we've had so much fun with this, because if you think about the space that we're in, everything's digital. Your Google ads and boosting posts and social media and posting all of that stuff, all of it's important. We have to do that as a business. But what I think got lost over the past 5 or 6 years or so is that direct having conversations with people, and people are have started to go back to events again, actually craving events, and they want to be in the rooms. So we said, well, what happens if we show up at an event, at a conference that there aren't any other lawyers at? Like, we're not going to the legal event. We're going to go to the other events where there's maybe therapists there, and we're the only lawyers there. We're going to other business events. Well, guess what? We just went to one a few weeks ago. We were the only lawyers in the whole room, and there were 1,000 people in attendance. Think about all of the conversations that you can have with people just by being in that room and having that direct, like, hello, this is who we are, and not even for the sales purpose. It's just having connections and conversations with people. And so the best clients we ever get are the referrals. It's not the people who click on a digital ad. They don't know us, but people who are already invested. And so that boots on the ground is, let's do it the old school way. Like, let's show up at things. Let's network. Let's talk to people. Let's have coffee dates. And those go so much further than just relying on the digital space. I think it's all important, but that's the lack, at least in my industry, that I see people not doing it. Or you see lawyers kind of staying within the industry
Mm-hmm.
Just go to conferences with other lawyers. Well, what is that going to get you?
Yeah, exactly.
So we've really leaned into attending women's conferences. I'm one of the keynote speakers at an event in April. There's 500 women in the room. At least 25% of those could be potential,
right.
divorce is inevitable for some people.
Right.
And so it's just, and we're not going there talking about divorce. We have a booth, but my keynote isn't about divorce, but it's just connecting with people and having your company be top of mind. And we've been to a couple events where we've had someone come up to us and say, you've been at the last 3 events that I've been at. Well, guess who she's going to refer somebody to? She's happily married. She doesn't need us. But if she has a friend who's going through something, she's going to say, I know somebody. So that's what that kind of marketing looks like.
I love the idea of you attending non-legal events. That just makes so much sense. I mean, what are the type of people that you're actually meeting at these events where it's not,
So we do 2 events every year that are mental health professionals. So one's marriage and family therapist. I mean,
So
hello, like that's
so smart.
special, right? And there's never a lawyer there, never. So we go to that. And so there's always a couple hundred people in the room. And then we do another therapist mental health event, which you have all personal therapists. Again, as long as we've been doing it for the past few years, there's never been another lawyer there. We always try to present on a topic. And so we're getting in front of their audience. But the women's events, we've done local business events we've done. So we're looking for the things that actually aren't, where we don't expect to see other lawyers.
So smart. Oh my goodness. That is, I'm, what do you call it? Dumbfounded? Like that is so smart and simple.
So simple.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
So when you say aligned partnerships increase credibility fast, how do you spot the right partners versus the ones that just look good on paper?
So it's about relationships. One of the things I have noticed actually when we do attend some of these events is we will have people come up to us and I will collect a stack of wealth management, for example, here's, or insurance people will come up and be like, I can help your client. Here's my card, but they're not actually taking the time to build that relationship. So what I care about is someone who it can be there for the long haul, where it's not an immediate, I have something for you, you have something for me. No, it's, you have, about something that could be useful. Let's stay in touch. Hey, if I have a question, I can call you up. You can call me up. And it might not turn into a client for a long time, but it's that relationship where I know that person's the authority on something. And so when ultimately I send somebody to them because it's the right fit, because I know they're going to be in the right hands. And I want to know, I'm not just handing out anyone's random card. I want to know if I'm sending someone to them, I want nothing in return. Just treat that person right. And it all comes back. It's all, we keep doing this for each other. It all sort of circles back. So I keep that referral network really, really small because I know these are high quality, high caliber people who have integrity, have the same values and really want to help people. And it's not just about making a sale. And that's really, really important to me. So usually those cards I collect, couldn't tell you their names. All I know is they were telling me is why every single one of my clients needs a whole life policy. I had one of those the last time. I'm like, no, they don't. I'm like, who are you? I'm like, that's not aligned for me, because all this person's going to do is sell a product to my client, regardless of who they are or what their needs are.
Absolutely. No personalization there. It's just that bottom line. So if you had to rebuild your entire referral network from zero in the next 30 days, what would your first 3 moves be and why?
I love that. I would ask for just coffee, a coffee date. I would build up my schedule. I spend 1 week just having coffee dates with people, just having conversations. I would, that's a really good question. So, so it's like, what else beyond that? I feel like so much is just, it's conversations. Oh, I would ask them for who they think would be a good aligned connection for an introduction to somebody, because I think that always opens the next door. Once you have that first conversation, it's like, hey, if this is a good fit, who else do you know that you think we could bring into this conversation or this kind of sphere of of connections, and then follow up. So if I did that on week 1, I'm following up with them on week 3 or 4 just to stay in touch, because I think so often people are like the one and done, and then they never circle back. And then what was that? That was just a waste of someone's hour. The whole point is to stay connected and have almost like quarterly check-ins. How are you doing? What can I do for you? What's going on in your world?
Right.
To genuinely care. It's not even a need. So it's the conversations, it's asking for the intro, and it's the follow-up.
Very cool. Very cool. So outside of Happy Ever After, who is Renee, and like what kind of things do you like enjoy to do?
So I am a writer. Right. I write. So I wrote a personal development book, but I'm actually a fiction writer. So I love suspense. And I'm actually, right before we got on here, I was plotting out my next book idea. And I was thinking, like, I sit there with my notes in my phone, and I'm like, how about this and that? And so I have all of these notes that are open. I haven't landed really on the next one. So I love the creative side of it, like that part of me. I love books. I love reading. I love quiet. I am like, as much as I'm like out there doing all that stuff, I'm also very much an introvert. So I love just like a quiet, lazy day, sitting and my rescue dog, and I have a big blended family. So
love it.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. So out of curiosity, again, thinking about everything that you've done and that you're doing, what would you say that you're most proud of?
I would say something that pops to mind is in the end of 2023, my business was gutted, and I lost 4 key employees that went over to another company, and I was left with a business of myself, my husband, and then one other person. And I thought, I'm like, all these years of building a business in just one swoop, where we may not have any clients. I'm like, I don't have any employees. I'm like, what is going to happen? And in 2 years, we completely rebuilt the business. I have double the employees I've ever had. We opened 2 other locations. So the moral of this story is that sometimes that thing that feels like so hard and feels like it's the hardest thing ever was actually a massive opportunity to rethink what I want my business to look like. And when I really peel the layers back, I'm like, it actually wasn't working that well. And I held up the mirror to myself as the business owner, as leader, and said, how can I reimagine this in a different way? And so I'm so proud that it took 2 years to really do something that in that moment felt impossible. And I just put my head down and went, and we had our holiday party last night, and I looked around the room and I was like, oh my God, like this is incredible, watching everyone like laugh and have a great time, and the faces were different, and it felt so good to bring all of those people together. So super big source of pride in the moment.
Wow. In a short span, that's 2 years.
2
That's
years.
huge.
Yeah.
A huge feat. Oh my goodness. Okay, Renee. So I want to take this last opportunity to give you time to tell everybody how they can find you.
Yes. So if you're on Instagram, you can find me there it's at Ms. Renee Bauer. So I have spent some time over there. If anyone is looking for divorce resources, whether you're in Connecticut or not, you can go to Family Lawyer CT. We have a ton of things. You can download a free workbook. We have podcast interviews and just free stuff for people to start to educate themselves about their next steps.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much for being on the show. And thank you everybody for watching. I hope that you enjoyed, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of Partnerships for Profit. We hope you've gained valuable insights on how to form profitable partnerships and take your business to the next level. Be sure to subscribe and leave us a review wherever you listen to podcasts so you never miss an episode. Got a partnership story to share or someone you'd like to see featured on the show? Reach out to us. Until next time, keep building those partnerships for profit.